I'm checking on YouTube too.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna pull mine up too. I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, and I like to share it because everybody be like, share it to me. I'm like, all right.
Oh, boom.
Oh, it has a notify me button too, so that's lit.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I always. That's what I've been trying to put out, cause I do the
Hmm.
notification for mine. I just got it now live.
Okay.
Charlamagne, we live.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Yay.
All right, we're gonna let the room fill up. Let the room fill up.
I'm about to send it to a couple people right now.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me mute that part.
We are live. Um,
Boom. You gotta get your
oh
screen set
yeah,
up. I don't have my like a, usually I got the additional screens. Those help out.
what you
Like
mean?
when you got the extra screen,
Oh,
like the extender, screen extender, whatever it's called. I don't know.
oh,
Okay, let me make sure that. Mm-mm-mm, mm-mm-mm.
put it on my Facebook.
Excellent connection.
Yeah.
Everything's good. Life is great. It's Monday.
Happy Monday.
Make sure I'm centered. Am I centered? Nah.
Yeah, pull it down a little bit. Yeah,
Down this way?
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little more down. Just the camera be. Okay, yeah, that looks good.
Don't.
Are you a Monday person? Do you love Mondays?
Yo, I'm definitely a Monday person. You got to be a Monday person. If
Yeah.
you're not a Monday person, it's like admitting you're a loser and that you're just accepting life. Like that's how I see it. If you're not a Monday person, then you're just admitting defeat.
Yeah.
Like you're
I
just
mean,
admitting defeat before it even like, bro, the game ain't even. You don't see life as an opportunity. You see it.
yeah.
You're a cynical person. Like you're depressed. You're you have a lot of negative energy. You're miserable. Like why would you not love Mondays? And if you are those things, there's nothing wrong with that. But why aren't you excited? I guess to do certain things that are gonna get you out of that.
I think, you know what? I think what takes people out of the loving the Monday thing or start of the week sometimes could be on the same job for 10, 15, 20 years. Like, I think some people get into that, like, oh, it's just the same old thing. And I mean, it is up to them to create, the life that they want or create the days that they want. But I can see how somebody's like, I've been working the same job for 40 years, having that mindset. But Monday's a good day. I think if you look at Monday as a fresh start, it feels good. I'm a Monday person, but
Yeah.
I just thought about all the different memes and stuff, and people like, oh, the weekend's over.
Yeah. Like yeah, even if you've had the same job, like be okay, embrace that. You're cool with that. It's amazing that you get to go to work, earn a living for your family, put
Right.
food on the table. You have that ability. Like be excited about that as well. It's
Yeah.
just like when if you're negative or if you're not happy with where you are right now, if you're not fulfilled, then it's gonna come out in different ways. Like I don't want to be around people like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
trying. You
No.
trying to if you trying to build. If you in build mode, like come on. Like how can you not like Mondays?
Yeah. I think my favorite day of the week is obviously Sunday, just because it's like a good reset. But I love a Wednesday too. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I
A
love a
little
Wednesday.
halftime.
Like middle of the week. It's a good
Yeah.
day.
Damn. I guess you could. Maybe we should do a study. You could see what we can tell. Like people that different personalities based on what's your favorite day of the week.
Yeah. Yeah. There was this. Oh, where was this thing? Um, this lady was saying like she couldn't date this guy because he didn't understand that Thursday and the color brown were the same things. She was it was like this weird thing of saying like Thursday gives her like it was like the aesthetic of Thursday was like brown, and she was explaining that and he just didn't understand and she was like I can't talk to you. But
Can you explain that to me?
you don't get it either. So like okay, you know how you think of like just Thursday, you think of like an aesthetic or you match like the colors to like the day of the week. It's some weird
Yeah,
stuff, but she was just saying like Thursday gives off brown or Thursday gives off like
like brown vibes. What are brown
yeah or
vibes? What was
something
she
like that.
saying?
Yeah, something weird. Like to me, I think of like Sunday would be yellow for me. Like I would, you know what I mean? So it's just like a good
That's your
day, a
favorite
fun
color,
day,
yeah.
relaxing day.
I get it.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Monday, red. Monday,
Right.
green. Like red and green. Like I'm on go and I'm seeing red. Like that's the energy that I'm on a Monday.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
what
But
so I been reading a little bit more of that book. I'm telling you, man. Oh, by the way, yeah, I gotta the new energy is slim to none. That's the motivation. And before y'all try to people gonna try to do it, watch. To all the 10,000 people that are in here listening and watching, I got the new slim to none t-shirts and hats coming out and hoodies. Slim to none. That's the energy that I'm on.
slim to that.
That's the new
Okay.
like dude really told me that it was like my chances of doing something were slim to none. Like
Oh, right.
yeah, like I'm still thinking about that. Like yo, how'd you like you gotta have some type of boldness to tell
Yeah.
somebody that, or like damn, bro, he really told me
He
that.
just didn't know who he was talking to.
Yeah, he definitely didn't. He definitely
Right.
didn't. I did a. It's funny. I did a video about that yesterday. I didn't put that one up, but I'm gonna put it up today. And it was just on like people really just will say stuff to you, not knowing who you are, not asking questions first, and
Yeah.
that could be an opportunity. Who knows? He could miss out on an opportunity because now my job is to make sure that he either misses out on an opportunity, a huge one, or that he can be part of it.
Yeah. And sometimes too, I think when people of themselves, so they look at like, okay, well, I have this amount of access to this person because I'm just working for them or I'm just doing what I got to do to survive, and they look at their chances with that person maybe slim to none. So it's like, well, if I can't get to him in this way, like, there's no way you can. And it's just like, well, I'm different. We're different. Like, you work for him. I'm not trying to. So, yeah.
Projections.
Yes.
Like, don't project your limited belief in yourself on me.
On me.
Because, and first, like, all right, so even I did it a little soft in the video. Because as I was doing the video, I said, it's either one or two things. He just doesn't know who I am. And then I said, or I just haven't, and then I kind of softened it up and said, I haven't shown him who I am.
Right.
But in reality, what I was really feeling is like he's just not that. Like if
Right.
you're that, you don't tell somebody that unless you're just looking to get a response to kind of test their energy. Maybe he was just testing my temperature. Because
Yeah.
if I was the type to be like, oh really, like oh man, like slim to none, like I give up. Like
Yeah, and that could be the thing because when you think about who you're seeking or who you're trying to talk to, they might have to have that type of approach, that type of energy. Because like I was saying, like with that one video, it was kind of like he has these little people who puts out fires before they get to him. So it's like, okay, well, their energy may have to be a certain level to say like, man, like we ain't not about to just let anybody have access to this. So it might be their own little, I don't know, way
yeah,
of just saying like, nah,
yeah.
let's
And I
test
may
it
and
out.
I may just be thinking too highly of myself. But we'll see. That's the thing. Like with life, that's the dopest part about it. We're gonna see.
Yeah,
There's a scoreboard. We get to see who wins, who loses, and who didn't even want to play. So that's
exactly.
that's it for me. Yeah, and I
That was all
thanked
the
him for it.
motivation you needed.
Yo, I'm like, damn, bro. And you know what's funny? Because you got to take advantage of opportunities like that. When somebody tells you you
Definitely.
can't do something, you got to take advantage. Like there's nothing better. Like there's no form of inspiration, encouragement, motivation that could be better than somebody telling a competitor, "Yo, you can't do this."
Yeah.
And I don't know.
And it separates the doers from the not doers, I guess. You know what I mean? Because some people will take that as like, I'm definitely going to show you. And then some people will take that as like, all right, well, I'll try again another day, or maybe it's just not for me, or whatever. So it's like your energy behind it. And then things like this also too, like it helps you check your motives. It helps you check, like, is this something you really want to do? Because when, you talking to this guy and he's telling you no, it's like, nah, I'm gonna take that as a way to just try again or try a different route or do it differently. And some people will give up. And so it's like, well, was you really trying to get in contact? Like, did you really think it was gonna be this easy? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. And you
'Cause-
could feel I could feel my emotions. Like, yo, that's another thing. Like even how to handle that conversation. I could feel my emotions just going, and I'm like, yo, what? Like what? Like, you know what I mean? Like when somebody first tell you something like that, like, no, bro, your chances are slim to none. like I'm good in slim to
right.
none. Slim to none is home. I feel very, very comfortable in slim to none. Like I'm
Right.
very encouraged and confident in slim to none. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess like you said, it says a lot more about. Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna say it says a lot more about the other person, because I think it may cause us to miss out on an opportunity to
Right.
maybe self-reflect on ourselves, which is why I said, like, oh, I just haven't shown him that. So now it's like, okay, you got to show that person that. And if it's somebody that knows you, like, tell somebody. That's why it's good to tell people. Sometimes tell people your goals. It depending on what type of person you are. If you tell somebody that you're close to your goals, depending on how they respond, it's going to show a lot about what you've been giving off to people.
Oh
We
yeah.
have our own perception of ourselves, but a lot of times it's not necessarily as realistic as other people, especially people that are willing to be honest with us, are going to look at and be able to, lock in on.
Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting because they always tell you like, oh, don't tell nobody, stay low and work on your stuff, and it's just like, no, you just have to know who to talk to, know who to tell, also, because some people will discourage you from whatever you're trying to do, and there's some people that are gonna be like, if you like it, I love it, or like, no, I really believe you can do that. So it could be a bunch of things. It could be perception. It could be just their reflection of like what you give off, like you just said. And it's a lot of things, but it all comes back to like, what are you really trying to do? Is this really your goal? Are you really trying to accomplish this? So
Limited.
it all
That's
comes back to you anyway.
and, all of these. It's funny how all these different things that we talk and come back to the same point, or it's almost like revolving around the same thing. The thing that comes to mind when you're talking about the people that you're surrounding yourself with, like that's just so key. Having
Yeah.
that group that you're able to seek out to for counsel. We talked about this before, but they're gonna give you a realistic expectation on who you are. And that's the same thing with anybody. We always talk about, this may be a bad example, but certain chicks, you know what I'm saying? Like if you go see a certain chick move a certain way, then you're gonna similar way, or at least to be cool with that type of behavior.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that
Talking
connection.
about, so every once in a while we should almost audit like the top 5 people that we're speaking to. Set a realistic, sit down and say, like, what does this
Right.
person bring to the table? What value do they serve, and what value am I able to provide them? And if it's not
Yeah.
aligning, cut it off.
Yeah, and I think sometimes too it's seasonally. So like different seasons of your life, you do have like different people that are just there. I think at every season of your life, you do need certain types of people, right? But I think also I've learned, and I have like different friends from different spaces, but I've learned in each season, like it really requires like different groups of people. And that's helpful. But I do think back to what you were saying, like in every season of your life, you do have to have a certain type of people around you, especially depending on what you're trying to do and what they're trying to do. Because you want to be reciprocal of, the people that are working or trying to work towards something that are around you too. So, yeah, that is important. And
Yeah.
so I will say too, to your point, now I was thinking about because my connection got funky, but like when you look at people and then you look at their friends, it's so hard because when you're younger, like sometimes people are just followers. You can tell the followers from the leaders and different things like that. And it's interesting because like as you get older, it's like you want to think that like things change, but it really doesn't in terms of like maturity wise and the people that they have around. Because like I look at people who are even older than me, and I'm just like, y'all still have this kind of drama at 50? Like this still happens at like 55? Or this, these are the type of people that you have in your space at 50? Like they're not supporting you at this age? Like at what point do people just get it? But it's really more so of just like everybody's just not gonna get it. And it's not gonna be a thing that just happens with age. Like you really do have to filter out people at every phase of your life.
Do you
I
think
thought
people
things
can
changed
change?
as we got older. I thought things changed as we got
Do you,
older.
or do you think nah,
I
let
think
me
people
change
have
that.
the
Do you think most people change? Like, do you think most people
um
evolve, most people grow?
yeah, I think so. Like to an extent. I think it's also it depends where they're coming from too. Like what level are they coming from? Most of the people I will say, like, yeah, I think people have the ability to change. Like, because I feel like if I look at my
Nah,
personal
that's not
journey
what I
right now,
asked. That's not what I asked.
okay, we'll say it again.
The ability, yeah. Everybody got the ability to do everything. But do you think most people change? Do you think most people grow? Do you think most people evolve, adapt?
I do. I do. I think there's some who don't, but I do think most people
I
do.
think the majority of people don't change. The majority. I think that when we look back, I don't even going back to elementary school. You can look back at elementary school, and I don't know whether this is sad to say that, but the kids that were a certain type of way in elementary school, typically those were the same kids that were school, high school, and beyond. And we could sit here and say it may be a legit reason because their environment, they probably, if they weren't in a positive environment in elementary, they may not have been in a positive environment in middle school. And then, it carries on. And why I said I don't know whether it's sad or a good thing, because at least it allows us to identify the problem. It allows us to say, like, okay, boom, if this same person is this same type of way from when they were younger, then we just need to pour in, a different type of energy, a different type of support system to that person while they're younger. So I don't know. I don't know. But I do not think that people change.
I don't know. I feel like I mean, I can only go based off of, the people that are around me that I've known. And shout out to Montclair for the simple fact that we do know people from like preschool all the way till now. But I feel like people have changed. I feel like people do change. I don't know. We'll see. We're still young. I'm gonna give
No,
people the benefit of the doubt.
no, I definitely think people can, and hopefully shows like this, we can that they definitely have the
Right.
ability. I
Because
think, yeah. Go ahead.
no. I was just agreeing because I feel like there's still hope. I don't know. There's still hope for us at this age. I mean, being in your 30s, I feel like it's a turning point. Like how I was saying to you yesterday, like now or never. Like it feels like that for me right now. But I feel like because I am in my 30s, I assume that like okay, the 40s and 50s or whatever, like I really have to have my game tight or certain, aspects of my life together. And so I feel like people that are in their 30s, like this is a good time to say, okay, like if I really want to start turning some things around, if I really like understanding motivation is important, understanding good people are important, understanding that healthy habits are important. I think we're really getting to that point in our 30s that are like, no, this is necessary. It's not even optional. So I
Yeah.
feel like this might be the time where things turn around.
No, I like that. And shout out Pops Dwayne.
Oh, he's there. Good morning.
Hey, yeah, he
That's
said them change. Good or bad, stays the same. Just my opinion. That everything does change. I think that's why it's so important for us to be able to adapt and change as society changes. Just be stuck in our ways. And let me be clear. I don't think people change necessarily hard, or I don't think that it's complicated to change. Simple. Change the people that you're around and develop a new standard for yourself. Like I think it's very simple that
Yeah.
no matter where you are in life, you can very simple like it's a simple process to change. Not to say that it's easy, but it's simple how to change. But I just don't think that most people um, have enough confidence in themselves to first and foremost to take that stand and to want to change, or they just don't believe that the return that they'll get from change is worth what they will have to sacrifice to actually make those changes.
Yeah. So while you were saying that, I definitely agree. And then also too, it's like, because you can say, okay, get up every day at 5 a.m., journal, have your cup of coffee, go work out. Like the rules to it seem very like cut and dry, very simple. But that, what's the word? The the confidence, yes, the self confidence to
Mm-hmm.
do so, but then also
Discipline,
discipline. Yeah, that's yeah. Okay, help me out. I feel like
consistency. I
the
got you. I
discipline.
got all that. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like the discipline, that's where it's like, damn. Because when you see things like, say like, okay, in 6 months I want to be able to do A, B, and C. Them 6 months go real fast when you're not doing it. Then you're like, fuck, like, damn, I could have did this. I should have did this. I could be here. Dang, I wonder what would have happened. And it's just like the same time that seemed like it went really fast is the same time as if you were doing it. And I'm a firm believer that once you, I always say this, like I get right, but not in a funny kind of way. It's like if I say, oh, okay, I want to work out and I go to the gym for maybe 3 days out the week, I'm going to meet somebody there. Somebody's going to be like, hey, do you need help? Or, oh, do you come here every Wednesday? Like the opportunities to succeed happen once you start. So I think it's just forcing yourself to have that discipline to just start and stick with something because all the tools you need to keep going really do they really do align and do come together. So it's just like that discipline and like you said, that confidence to just keep going or keep showing up for yourself and making it personal
Yeah.
is important.
And you touched on a good point where when you go to the gym, when you just start doing the right activities, then things start to fall in alignment, like with where you
And
want to go. When you start actually doing the right activities, and all right, so this is what I was thinking, when like as far as like what success is, and it's a journey, obviously, but it's like a connecting the dots. You know what I mean? Like that's what at least you know what I mean? I feel like we're all experiencing this right now where, okay, all right, you lock in on what goal you want, you commit to it, not just from, a mental standpoint, both. Mentally, you're committing to it, you believe you're going to do it, you're going to do it, but you're also doing the practical steps with your actions. And I feel like once you start doing those, certain opportunities like you're talking about are going to present themselves, and it's like, okay, let me act on this, let me act
yeah,
on energy. Like that's my big thing. I'm acting on energy.
yeah,
So if my energy takes me to this and it's aligned, I'm acting on it. I'm
yeah,
gonna open that door, see what's behind it. Yo, oh, a friendship, partnership, whatever it may be, whatever that relationship with that individual or that particular opportunity, that thing, I'm gonna go into it with a positive mindset. Like, hey, this is gonna
right.
lead me to where I want to go.
Exactly. And like they say, the fruit of your labor, like you see the fruit. You know what I mean? Like once you're moving in the right direction and the opportunities come or the people come and all the good things come from what you're doing, then you're able to say like, okay, boom, like that's that push. Because sometimes you hit a plateau, but that's that push, I think, sometimes. And then like you said, going into it positively, if you go into it with a negative mindset, then it's just gonna spoil everything. And going into everything with a positive mindset is helpful because then you're like you're not so focused on the outcome, you're focused on being present. Like, nah, right now this feels good, today I'm working, today I'm doing this, today I'm and so yeah, it feels, yeah, the positive mindset is helpful.
Have you read the book The Secret?
The secret, no, I don't think so.
You got to check out the
Let me
book The
look it up.
Secret.
Let me make
And
sure.
yo, why I'm
I'm
laughing is
googling it.
because when I first read it, like a lot of people will like you'll get all different types of reactions based on The Secret. Yo, if anybody's read The Secret, that's to all the 10,000 people in the building right now, whoever if you read The Secret, put it in the chat. And I want to
No, I
ask a couple
didn't. Okay.
questions because it's pretty much based on like this life secret. Like it's giving you this life secret, and it's to me it's just energy. And it's energy, it's belief, and it's like if you believe something's gonna happen, if you really believe it enough, if you know it's gonna happen, then it's gonna happen. Like, and they tell you certain stuff like, hey, if your goal is to get money, stop acting tight, spend some money, put money into this, put money into that, because you're expecting money to come back in return.
Right.
But all of these things, and I was having a convo last night about it, and somebody said like, yo, people say that that's actually the Bible, but that they couldn't present it as the Bible because then people would think, I don't know, like we were having just one of those
Right.
out there
Right.
conversations. But as I was thinking about it, like throughout the night, I'm like, damn, like what if the secret was really the secret? And when I initially read it, it's about shit, it was like maybe 2016, 17. I wasn't reading a lot of books. I read this, and then right at the time that I finished it, something happened that I had been waiting for. So it's like once that happens, it's like, oh this the key to everything. So
Yeah.
I let Kill read it, and then Quan read it, and the book was like people were acting like, yo, I need that book. Like, yo, who got the book right now? Like we were really like
Right.
tripping over that book. And now that I start to read all these books by these other people, because you could read it and be like, oh, it's cool, it's kind of out there, whatever. But when you start reading a lot of books from successful people, you start to realize how many of those principles are aligned with
Are the
that
same.
concept, as far as just the power of believing, the power of imagination. And once you fully commit to something, opportunities are going to open.
Yeah.
Like they started to talk about the same stuff. So now I'm wondering, like, if I go back, what my takeaway would be.
Yeah. I'll actually read that. I will commit to that. Cause
Yeah.
I'm like, I start a book and then I'll be like, okay. Like my friend, she gave me the, what is it? The four agreements. And that was easy. That was like, it took me a day. So that I was like, okay, I got that. That was really good. So I will check that out. But it is true though, like the things that you really do desire do come. And then when you think about the Bible and you think about all the different sayings that they have and the beliefs, not of everything in it, but certain things that are just
Hmm.
firm on like, if you believe it, then you receive it or whatever. But sometimes I think people don't even allow themselves to even believe that they can be beyond. There were moments where like I had no thought of moving outside of Jersey ever. Like no idea, like no desire to. It took one trip and I was like, I think my first trip was to Florida, my first trip years ago. And I was like, oh my God, I had never been on a plane. I was like 19, I had never been on a plane, nothing. And ever since then, I was like, I'm never like staying with that mindset. So I think one, exposure, but then also like giving yourself the opportunity to be like, no, I'm just going to take this trip. I'm just going to take this opportunity and see where it opens up. Because now your mind is like, this is what I was shutting off. This is what I was saying no to. And so actually allowing yourself to believe that you can have the bigger things or whatever it is that you desire, that to me is like powerful too, because some people will limit themselves just based off of fear, will limit themselves from believing or thinking that they can have bigger things or whatever it is that they desire because they just don't see themselves bigger than where they are.
Yeah.
So that would be a good tip. Allow yourself to see yourself bigger than where you are.
Yeah. And I think that's like one of the most important things when they say about surrounding yourself, putting yourself in more positive environments. Because if you're in a very negative environment, then it may be very hard for you to picture yourself and living in abundance, living on your purpose, all these things. But if you're surrounded by people, if you're going to different homes, and so
Yeah.
I keep it real. The book Patrick Bet David, the one what really got me, I've been listening to him for a while, but when I saw him tour his house, he gave kind of like an MTV Cribs type of thing, and I said, nah. I said I need that. I said
Yeah.
I need that. I have to have that. And I already started picturing, what, like, all right, boom, that could, like, moms could be over there, like, oh, dad, I like that. Yeah, we got a little golf thing set up in the back. Like,
Right.
I really started picturing this stuff.
Yeah.
And for those 2 days, I only looked at like mansions. Like I didn't look at any TV. The only thing I would put on YouTube was tours of like the most beautiful homes in Miami. Like that was just what I was on, and if you can just see yourself, like the ability to visualize yourself in a particular situation, whether it's just winning a game, whether it's getting an A on a test, whether it's just being in your purpose overall, if you can see it, then I feel like it just gives you that added
Yeah.
confidence in achieving it.
It actually gives you like a level of excitement because like so I was in this group, it's like a group therapy. This lady during the pandemic, she would get a bunch of people on Zoom and she would do like small therapy sessions. And there was one and she was like she wanted everybody to close their eyes and visualize the life that they want, the person that they wanted. If there was kids involved, what does that look like? What home are you cooking in your kitchen? Are you like what does a day look like in the life that you want? And she was like, really go there. Do not allow yourself to limit. Do not allow yourself to be like, oh, not this person or not this kind of help. Like really go there. And it was just this level of like happiness, excitement. And then when you come out of it, you like, I believe I can actually like attain that versus just like, oh, I was just daydreaming about some bullshit. And so, yeah, like the power of just imagination, the power of seeing it, the power of visualizing it, it's really powerful, and it is helpful because now you're like, okay, now what do I have to do? Because when you come out of that, now you're like, what are the next steps to actually attain this level of whatever I just saw? So that
And
is,
when you can inspire people around you, you may not even really believe it. Like you're like, yo, this is a tough battle. But if you could trick yourself first and foremost to say, oh, this is gonna happen. Like this goal, like it may seem quote unquote crazy to everybody else. This is what's gonna happen. And if you're leading and if the team really believes, or just other people, it don't even gotta be people on your team, but if people really just see you moving in a way where it's like, yo, he actually believe that he
yeah,
can accomplish that. She actually thinks that she can be that.
and she is that,
It's
yeah,
gonna be contagious. And at
yeah,
first, at first people may hate because, like you said earlier, they're projecting their own on you. But in all actuality, then they're gonna start to like really believe it. They're gonna want to be on board. And like that's
right,
just think that's compounding energy. Like so now
yeah,
instead of just your energy focusing on the goal that you wanted, now you may have three other people that are putting that energy out to the universe. That's
exactly,
when opportunities start really coming our way. So
exactly,
yeah, what Dad
yeah,
say, visualization is the key. Queez said, put it out into the universe. It'll come back to you. LOL, the secret. Queez,
that's
remember? Yo, he remember. Yo, who's got my book? Yo, somebody give me back my book. But but yeah, it's everybody talks about it, and maybe because we can't see energy, we don't believe in it, and we're just so used to, we have to actually see something or touch something to actually believe it's a real feeling or to actually believe that it exists. But energy is no different than, okay, you run into somebody who's a billionaire. And just like you may think that because you ran into a billionaire and y'all are becoming friends that, oh, maybe they can introduce me to this person, to that person. Yeah, they can. You're around a billionaire. You're more likely to be introduced to situations and opportunities that can put you in a position to make more money than you're currently making. But that's
yeah,
exactly how energy works. Like
yeah,
if you just put it out there, I really feel like people can read your energy just based on like the gym is a great example. But especially like when I'm out on South Beach, like there's certain days where my energy is just up where I'm attracting people, like you know what I mean? Like people come, oh yo, what workout you like just asking different questions, wanting to work,
yeah,
all these different things. Energy.
yeah. Yeah, no, and you can feel it. You can feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing I do enjoy about when you're meeting new people. Because sometimes I'll force myself to go to something because I'm like, okay, I need to meet new people. I need to be around fresh energy. I'm back in a different city. So, whatever. But you can like feel it. Because sometimes, like, if you're in a room and then all of a sudden you just start talking to somebody and you're like, wow, like this girl, I went to an event in LA. Mind you, I think we were like I'm trying to say there was a couple of black girls in there, but whatever. So it was like a creators event, and so they had like a bunch of small businesses giving out free stuff, just so different creators can talk about it online or whatever like that. And of course, I'm like nervous because I'm like I don't know nobody, whatever, whatever. I get there and I meet this girl super dope. Like, and little do I know, we become friends now. Like we're social media friends. She still lives in LA, and like she's doing all the different things that like I want to do, and she's just like, yeah, girl, just hit me up. Like so, just having that energy to just tell myself like just go to this event, just go, and then you get there and then you vibe with somebody, and then once you vibe, then it's like, wow, this person is doing the things that I want. She's living the life that I dream about or desire, and she's not like on some gatekeeping, but it was like the energy was right, and so that was super dope. Yeah, and just like I've met so many people in those like little instances where it's just like in the thrift store, in the supermarket, and next thing you know, this is somebody that you talk to every day. So it's like when you are when you're in position, I think there's something internally that like speaks volumes to like, nah, this person is ready for the next moment in their life, the next step. And so then the things align with that, and that energy right there is just like heavy, and it's something you can feel because you're like, I want this opportunity. I'm excited about life now. And so now I'm meeting people who are already living life that I want to living the life that I want to live, or also excited about life.
Nah, I agree with all
Yeah.
that. I agree with all that. What Queez said. See, Queez got my book, man. I knew Queez had it.
He's
But
got
Queez
it.
said he doesn't think people change much at the core, rather than adapt, evolve in the environment that they're in. So yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't think people change at the core. I think people can if they want to do the work, but I don't think that they do. I agree with Queez, and I think that they just adapt or evolve based on the situation that they're in. And we see it all
Yeah.
the time. It's like how people talk to their boss, versus when they get home. You know what I mean? A lot of people talking one way to their boss, but then talking crazy to their mom and dad. You know what I mean? Like how
Yeah.
you talking so nice and proper to your boss and respectful, but then you get home and But
Or
we
like
see
kids
that.
at school.
Or the kid,
Yeah.
yo, that's the same thing. Like, yeah, why are you talking to me like that? But all right, so the focus is on taking advantage of opportunities. We talked about energy, we talked about a bunch of stuff, but for a lot of people, when we discuss confidence, it's not like a switch that people could just turn on. So, what do you think as far as like turning weaknesses, perceived weaknesses, into advantages? Like how can somebody who feels that they have so many different weaknesses turn those into positives and still be confident, still approach certain situations with that positive mindset so that they can take advantage of opportunities?
So I'll say one, getting around some different people, that's just obvious. But if you are too afraid to make that step or you can't, there are YouTube videos. There are people who are out there doing it. You can filter your stuff to see what it is that you want to see. So if you go on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube and type in motivational speeches, you're going to see thousands upon millions of videos that you can go through. Meditate, guided meditation, yeah, just using the tools that you have. You know me, I'm a fan of Facebook groups. So if you are like, okay, women in business, black women in business, Latino women in business, disabled people in business, there's a group. There's people out there that are doing the things that you want to do, and you just have to force yourself to be in that area and in that space to grow. Like you have to almost make yourself do the thing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
like
find community.
we've never been in a we I don't think society overall has ever been in a position to where we have so much access to
Yes.
information, access to people. There's
Right.
human a lot of human capital out here. And when you have this access, it's like you can there's so many niches that we can align ourselves with. Like if there any group that you said on Facebook, like there's groups on any and everything that
Everything.
you may think is weird, but for them, that's their life, that's their norm. So we definitely have to take advantage of that. And then when it comes to specific weaknesses, like I don't know, like I always look at, or it's just my mindset, like every weakness, like that I think that somebody looking at me would think that I have, to me that's just an opportunity. Like that's
Yeah.
an advantage. Like if you think that this particular thing about me makes me less than, then I'm gonna use that particular thing because maybe that's just me looking at everything as a competition. Like if I'm going against if there's an opposition, if I'm playing sports against somebody, and they think that I'm slow, then they're obviously gonna guard me in a way to where they're not worried about me running past them. So I'm going to figure out a way to, take into consideration what
Oh
their
yeah.
perceived, weaknesses of me, but I'm going to use that against them. So
Oh yeah.
it's like whether you're, and that's how, and for
I
me,
think
it's
we
like,
all
what,
have a natural competitive nature.
yeah,
Like, I mean, I know
yeah,
I do. So
yeah,
I think, yeah, like definitely, because sometimes it's almost better. Like, I want you to think that of me. Like, I
hmm,
want you to think less than so that I can really, like, yeah, no,
yeah, use
that, but
it.
I feel like I have a natural
Yeah,
competitiveness
you
too.
got it, and you can tell because if it makes you crumble, then it's like you may need to
Yeah.
align yourself with somebody else, or
Yeah,
get
of
that back
course.
a little stronger. But if it really gets behind you and it's like use it as inspiration, then
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it could be
and the
anything.
thing is too is like you gotta really create a bond with yourself. Like everything comes back to self. Like I've created this thing where it's like I really fuck with myself. Like you know what I'm saying? And when you have that relationship with yourself, you're not gonna let people play with you. You're not gonna let people, you might slip up. We're all emotional. I mean, at some point, but I think there's this like relationship with yourself that's just like, okay, no, Kamari, you're gonna do this. You're gonna make this happen. You're gonna make these connections. You're gonna make this money. You're gonna do these different things because you have to, because I have my back at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that the relationship with yourself is a reflection of how you look at opportunities or how you look at how other people look at different things. It's like somebody may say, "Oh, well, you're heavy or you're black or you're a woman, so you can't." It's like, but I fuck with me and I know what I'm capable of because I did A, B, and C. So now I'm about to show you better
Hmm.
than I can tell you. And so I think that yeah, it comes back to just having a relationship with yourself and like really hone in on that relationship.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it's as if you have to be your biggest critic, but also your biggest fan, and you have to
Biggest
have the right
cheerleader.
balance, because
Yeah.
you could be your biggest fan and be a little bit delusional on
Oh yeah,
yourself and
delusional.
the value that you bring to the table. Like where a lot of people, you always hear about people talking about, they think they deserve more money, and it's like, well, what makes you think that you deserve more money? Like the
So
marketplace determines your value. Go ahead, go ahead.
right. So here's the thing too, like when it comes to certain opportunities, you have to be real with yourself, right? Because this is where checking your motives, checking your incentive, all that stuff is like, are you even willing to do the work, right? Because I'll look at, and even in the career that I have, so I've been a nanny for 12 years. There's certain jobs where it's like I'm definitely not willing to do the work. Like there's people that make a lot of money in this business, but there's certain things that you got to be willing to do. There's certain things that you have to be willing to put up with. Now there's certain things I'll be like, nah, I'm not doing that, and then there's certain things that I will do. And so when I'm going to look for like a new position and I'm like, okay, this time around I want to make more money, I got to sit with myself and be like, all right, now if they ask you to do A, B, and C, like you got to be willing to do that and not
Hmm.
just come in and say, oh, yeah, 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 I can do A, B, and C. And then when the time comes, because this could be a cutthroat industry too. Like
Right.
somebody like, you said that you clean. You gotta actually show so that you can do that. So yeah, it is being your biggest cheerleader. And I like the word delusional because I can be delusional sometimes, but
It's not always bad though.
but then also too, you just got to be real with yourself. Like
Hmm.
be for real, and know what it is that you bring to the table, and be willing to learn, be willing to grow in whatever position you're in. So I think yeah, like you said, being your biggest critic, but also being your biggest cheerleader, really does help you. And yeah,
I said
like
fan. I
you
didn't
just
say
gotta know what you're
cheerleader.
willing
I
to do.
said fan. I didn't say cheerleader.
Fans, what's the difference?
One
What's the
is
difference?
dressed differently. They're dressed
Bro,
differently.
ain't nobody
Yeah,
thinking about. Okay.
whatever. But yeah, so I definitely agree with that, and it is and when I say like delusion can be a good thing, it it when you think super highly of yourself, there is some positive in that, but you got to back it up with a little action.
Yes.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
You always got to back it up, and when I say a little action, I mean a whole lot of action, like because that's the only way that you're gonna get from one space to another. But yeah, I think definitely having that right balance is gonna put you in the right place because I think most of us either are one or the other. Like most are either super fans of themselves or just super critics of themselves because it's easier to just be one or the other rather than to find the balance that really works for us. Like that can be a tough thing to do, but
Yeah, it
it's
can.
yeah.
But that's where that self reflection comes in. That's
Hmm.
what coming, like, you really do have to spend time with yourself and be real with yourself. So if you are in relationship with yourself, then you can be honest about the things that you know you're not good at.
Hmm.
And then you can say, okay, well, how can I get better? And if you can do that, I think you're like destined for success. If you can really tell yourself, like, okay, I am not here, I am not good at this, and I want to be good at this. So, you know what I mean? Like, I think that if you can have that relationship with yourself and talk to yourself about the things that you want to grow in and actually like make steps to do it, then I think that that's the key right there. I don't know.
No, I like that. Have you ever heard the concept of finding your blue ocean?
No.
I hadn't heard about it either, and I still don't know exactly what it is, but I think I know what it is. Well, maybe
Okay.
I do know what it is, but they were talking about like when you're competing in a marketplace or competing for anything, figure out rather than competing on somebody else's terms where they have the advantages, figure out where you have advantages, figure out different things that you're great at, that you have a competitive advantage over, whoever it is you're going up against. And when you focus on those areas, put your energy there so that way it'll give you confidence. Like, let's say if everybody you're competing against is, let's say you're in an older industry where this particular situation, guy was selling life insurance. Most of the people selling life insurance were like white 57-year-old guys. He was, I think, maybe 20 something at the time, maybe 30. He's from Iran, didn't fit the bill as far as like what the normal life insurance seller would be, or financial services person would be. But what he realized was he just tapped into what he knew. One, he could speak a different language, so he just played in that space. Two, he was younger, could probably go out more with people, focus on social media to where a lot of the older people, they're not necessarily going to be able to do that. So he created his own blue ocean, which was the ideal competitive environment for him to where he could take advantage and capitalize on all his advantages.
Yeah.
So that's what I
I
think a
like
lot of
that.
us should do.
Yeah, I like that. And it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, Dame Dash said it in a different way. Hustling on a crowded block. Like, why hustle on a crowded block? Like, figure
Yeah.
out what value you're bringing. Figure out what unique thing you bring to the table, whether you think it's a negative or positive. Figure out what unique thing that you bring to the table, and figure out how you can use that as an advantage to compete.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Yeah.
And that's important to have, and it lets you know too, like, people will learn from you in that space. Then everybody that you're going up against is going to be like, okay, well, now I need to learn social media, or how do you know what I mean? Like, that's, they come back down to where you are, will come to where you are.
Hmm.
And now they need something, and you can capitalize off of that too. Yeah. I
And
like that.
and like YouTube, reading, like when we talk about taking advantage of different opportunities, it's like now there's really no excuse. There's no excuse. If you're presented with an opportunity, it doesn't matter what it is. Back in the day, you had to like go to the library, do research on it, all this other stuff. You can learn anything
Yeah.
on YouTube. Like, you can get different perspectives. You can get, whether it's politics, business, religion, anything, you can get the perspective over here. And then instantly you can get a perspective over there. You can get one in the middle. So we have so much access for one being online, and we can't be lazy. There's certain things that if we talk of opportunities, energy, we understand that that's good, but then the next step is developing a skill. Developing knowledge and understanding in a particular area that will put you in the best possible position to win. And
Right.
that's going to come with something that we don't traditionally like doing, reading books, like different things like that.
Yeah.
YouTube is great, but no, there's no but. YouTube is great, and if we add on that aspect of reading, like, I really feel like
Yeah.
if people fall
That's
in
that's the
love
goal. That's the goal.
with reading, like, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I hated reading. I don't think that I don't think I read a full book until like after college.
Wow.
I mean, besides like third, fourth grade. fifth
Right,
grade
right,
maybe.
right,
But after from middle school on, I don't think I read the entire book.
right.
Like I just never did it. And I definitely didn't read a book for pleasure. It was my mom and dad making me read a book during the summer, a couple books during the summer, whatever. Teachers making me read stuff that I didn't feel like reading. But when you
Right.
actually are learning stuff that is in your particular field, and when you start to realize that I can pick stuff up directly from this book and apply it in real time in my life, and it's
And it
gonna give me
works.
an advantage, I was sold. So that may be
Yeah.
another challenge that we do. Turn the
Right.
TV off, and it's so. All right, so you can read a 300-page book in a week, very easily, like, and or at least 2 weeks. By the time we take the time that we look on our phone, that we're watching TV, if we just read 15 pages in the morning, 15 pages at night, like that book's gonna go fast. But it's something
Yeah.
that we just don't use.
Yeah. No, and I'll be honest, like that is something I keep saying, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna read. Cause like I'm not a reader. So and it's
Don't
just
say that. Don't
funny.
say that.
Well, okay, yes. So I usually have a habit of, okay, somebody will suggest a book, I'll get the book, I'll read halfway, and then something happens and I never finish. So I'm gonna get a book. I'm gonna get The Secret. I'm gonna look it up.
Commit,
I'm gonna get it on Kindle
finish. Yeah,
and I'll
it's
finish it. I'll read it.
yeah,
I'll look into that.
yeah,
Because it is
because
an advantage. You do learn a lot. Like literally, I had Ian Van Zant had wrote a book, and it was literally, I think, I was maybe like two chapters in, and it was so good, and I'm telling everybody about it, and I just never finished it, and I was like, damn, and I left it in LA, so now I'm like, okay, I need to get that book back on
get
my phone.
another one, have it sent, do
Get it
whatever
on
you
my
need.
phone, Kindle. No, no, no. I'm like Kindle everything, so it's just not making the excuse, just like forcing myself, giving myself that discipline to read because it is, you do get a lot of tangible, downloads and stuff that you can use
Yeah,
in real life.
it's the definition of free game. Like,
Yeah.
well, I guess it costs, but based on what you're gonna get in return, it's free. Like
Yeah,
these
for
books, like
sure.
you telling me for $10, I can go buy something that I can read within a week or two, and it's gonna change the trajectory of my life completely.
Right.
Like when you put it in that perspective, like it has to change something. And I used to be one of these types where it's like, oh, well, nah, I can learn from just watching different shows. Like I could watch Succession and learn about business, or watch Billions and learn about business. But the book is different. The book is
Yeah.
different. So
Yeah.
I think that's
No.
definitely a key thing that we can add to, our daily habits that will put us in the best position to win. Like it's all about winning at the end of the day. Like that's
Yeah.
all we care about.
Yeah. It's all about winning.
It's all
Yeah. No,
about
that
winning
is
with
good.
integrity, but it's all about winning.
Yeah. No,
It's all
for
about
sure.
winning. I wanna oh, we didn't even go over the weather, Mar. Before we finish, we gotta go over the weather. What's it looking like where you at?
It's been beautiful. Let me double check though.
I was about to say. And we didn't even touch on the weekend, like how the weekends were. We're gonna go backwards. We'll go
Well, it's
backwards. But
48 right now, but it'll be 65 today.
oh man, it's gonna be
Chi-town.
rainy here. A little
Um,
78. But it's a little rain, a little overcast. So I'm gonna wear a hoodie. No, but yo, and in the chat, please, yo, put where you are right now. Put where
yes,
you
rain
are,
outside.
where you're
No
locking in
jerseys in the
from.
building heavy.
Definitely, but
But this weekend was good. What did I do? I really, so the kids, most of the kids were in spring break this week, so I had a lot of time to myself. And
hmm
it's funny because like when I'm not like usually like I'm on the go, like my week is just super busy, and like when I don't have anything to do or anything on the schedule, I'm like losing it. I'm like, what do I need to do? How do I sit with myself? What do I go like? So, but this week I was able to pack. Get some things done. I went for a really nice walk yesterday by the lake. I haven't walked that far in a long time, so my feet was like, ah.
we
But it
still
was really,
committed to the goal
yeah,
next year marathon.
yeah,
Y'all
it was
all heard it. Kamari
okay.
running in the Chicago Marathon. When is it? Next September or November?
Was it? You say
2024.
2024. I say 25, but we could if you
Yo,
got
that's another hold up. That's another thing. I'm glad that you just said that. Yo, one of the biggest things, like what determines time frames? Like what determines Like in that situation, like what determines? Oh, nah, I need 2 years, not 1 year.
It's just
And
a lack of confidence. I'm not even gonna lie to
right,
myself. It's a lack of
right.
confidence
But it's,
because,
it's
like,
something we all do. Like we'll
hmm
set a goal. Even when we were talking about the other day, like, yo, when are we gonna get this amount of watch hours, this amount of subscribers? And you start
yeah,
to think, and you naturally you want to push it off to something quote unquote realistic. But I think that's a good exercise that we all can do. Like write down our goals when we want to accomplish it, and then take another piece of paper and say, if I had to do it in half the time, what would I have to do to get there? And do that, and see if it's
right,
like something that is actually doable, because
right.
we set these. I've been doing it all the time. Like we supposed to drop OG.com, like it's coming soon, like it's been coming soon for a while, but it's just you start prioritizing different stuff rather than just figuring out I'm doing it this date, I'm standing on it, this is the
Yeah,
declaration, and I'm gonna push myself. Because think
yeah,
about it, even if you tell yourself that you're doing it next year instead of the year after, let's say worst case scenario, you try to do it, but you just didn't have enough time to train, but you tried it. Let's say you did half of the race or more than half of the race. That's still better than waiting
yeah,
a
not
whole
doing
nother year
it.
to
Yeah,
try something. You know what I mean? At least you get to
yeah,
see where you're at. Like we should be testing ourselves. If we're not failing, then we're not testing ourselves enough.
yeah. No, I totally agree. Yeah, no, it was just funny when I was out there on the track yesterday. I'm watching different people run, and I'm just like, damn,
Yeah, that's me.
like,
Next week,
oh.
2 years. I'm thinking more like 2 months, man. 2 months.
You crazy.
Yo.
But nah, it does get you excited though. It does. It definitely gets you excited and scared at the same time. But it was a nice time walking yesterday. And it makes you feel motivated. You know what I mean? When you see other people doing it, even if they out there looking like they about to pass out, it's just
Yeah.
like she out here, you know, like she's out here, she's running, she's doing it. So fuck it. You
Yeah.
know, and you don't have nothing to lose from it. It's all positive anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the dopest things. It just goes back to what we're seeing, what environments we're in, what inspiration, we're getting,
Exactly.
and where we can imagine ourselves and envision ourselves. So we definitely got some challenges for y'all. Figure out exactly. I'm gonna ask two questions that I was gonna save, but we might have actually talked about it last week, where it's like who we are right now. I'm sorry, who do we want to be, and who we are right now. Keep that always in the back of our head. But then there's also some real things that we can do right now today that are gonna maybe give us that extra budge that we needed to start
Yeah.
activating. So, what field do we want to be in? Pick a book. Pick a book. If y'all want, we already threw out The Secret. There's a bunch, but pick a book that you just want to read. That's a quote unquote self help book, but just something in your field that you can learn from. Pick a book, and then maybe pick a YouTube channel. Change up, figuring out different ways to change and challenge your current algorithm. That may
Yeah.
be the stuff that you're seeing on Instagram, the stuff when you log in on YouTube, what you're seeing, the people that you're around. All these things are kind of like our universal algorithm. So if we're able to shift those, then just like if you start watching different videos on YouTube, you're gonna get different advertisements. Now they're gonna start advertising different. Just like I think I'm like seeing all this stuff. I started talking about a vacation spot, or started looking up a vacation spot. Now I'm getting all these ads on Instagram for different vacation spots. That's exactly how this energy algorithm with the universe works. So if we start putting out certain stuff, the right stuff, and focusing on the right stuff, we're going to change the algorithm of our lives. We're going to change our standards, and that's what's really going to set us on the right path to becoming the quote unquote best versions of ourselves.
I love that.
Yeah. So with that, it's 8:59. We sticking to times, yo. We're
We
sticking to
doing good.
times.
We doing good. This is lit.
Challenge yourself to be the better yourself. Tiana, yes,
Hey,
exactly
T.
that. And when you challenge yourself, be very specific. Like, don't just say, I want to be better in this area. No, how do you want to be better? I want to make more money. No, how much money do you want to make? By what
Yeah.
date? What is how much? What is that per hour? What is that per minute? What is that per second? Like when you break it down as literal as possible, it's just gonna give us the best. Like it's gonna give us more of a belief system in ourselves, and that energy is gonna be stronger that when it goes out. So
And stay connected to podcasts like this, groups like this, people
yeah,
like DAC. Stay
yeah,
connected.
and like yo, yeah, like my fault. Go ahead, Mar. My fault.
No, I was saying stay connected.
Yeah, stay connected. Make sure y'all liking our page. Make sure y'all sharing it. We really appreciate y'all. Um, yeah, this is good. Just good energy to start the day off and put us in a position to win. With that, it's 9 o'clock. Mark, get the last words.
Lock in.
Lock in. All right. We'll see y'all soon. Mark, don't log off yet.
I'm not.